For every swing, every moment, the Milwaukee Brewers fight. It's not just about hitting the ball, it's about leaving a legacy.
Before we dive into the exclusive details shaking up the back offices of our beloved team and the MLB market, I have a quick but very important request. If you live and breathe the Milwaukee Brewers, if blue and yellow run through your veins, I need you to hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on the notification bell. We are building the most informed and passionate community on YouTube, and I don't want you to miss a single breakdown, rumor, or official confirmation during this offseason that promises to be electric. Join the Brew Crew and let's decipher this game together. It is Sunday, December 7th, 2025, and the MLB winter meetings are about to kick off, but the executives' phones are already on fire. As a fan and analyst who tracks every breath of this franchise, I need to be straight with you. There is smoke, and where there is smoke, there is usually a Brewers front office trying to outsmart the rest of the league, while much of the national media is focused on Detroit's moves, and we will get there shortly as it affects our market. My attention was captured by a footnote that could change the face of our bullpen or rotation for 2026. An intriguing report has surfaced, coming from Heavy Updates, suggesting a trade idea being discussed behind the scenes between the Milwaukee Brewers and the New York Yankees. The intel points to sending a two-time All-Star pitcher from our side to the Bronx in exchange for promising pitcher Will Warren. Now let's dissect this with the precision of a surgeon, John Heyman style, separating noise from reality when we talk about a two-time All-Star pitcher on our current roster. Eyes immediately turn to our elite assets. If we are talking about Devin Williams, for example, the conversation changes tone drastically. What does this mean for us? General Manager Matt Arnold has maintained the philosophy of taking as many bites of the apple as possible, which means keeping the team perpetually competitive without ever doing a total teardown, the dreaded tanking. Sending an established veteran to the Yankees in exchange for Will Warren, a young, controllable arm with spin rates that make data analysts salivate, is a classic Brewers move. Warren has the profile our pitching lab loves to turn into gold. However, the question sticking in my mind, and likely yours, is Warren alone enough? The Yankees are desperate. The pressure in New York is palpable. They need guarantees, and our all-star pitcher offers exactly that, certainty in a world of variables. But for us fans, parting ways with an idol or a team pillar demands a return that justifies the pain. Analyzing coldly, this move would signal that Milwaukee is confident in the next crop of arms rising from the minor leagues, allowing us to trade an expensive asset at the peak of his value for multiple years of control over a talent like Warren. It is a bet on sustainability, but it is a risky bet. The market is inflated, and if we are going to deal with the evil empire, we have to extort every cent of value. We cannot accept anything less than a premium package. Now, to understand if this trade with the Yankees makes sense, we need to look at the macroeconomic context of the MLB this week. And this is where the news about the Detroit Tigers and Ketel Marte comes in. You might ask, what do the Brewers have to do with the Tigers or the Diamondbacks? The answer is everything. The market is an interconnected ecosystem. We just received info from Bob Nightingale of USA Today indicating that the Tigers are aggressive and have joined the race for all-star second baseman Ketel Marte. We are talking about a player who posted an OPS plus of 154 and 145 in the last two seasons. Why does this matter to the Brew Crew? Because it sets the price. If the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to demand three or more players, including MLB-ready talent and not just distant promises, for a 32-year-old player with an expensive contract, it establishes an extremely high acquisition cost precedent. If the market is demanding massive packages for veteran hitters, then the value of our all-star pitcher in negotiations with the Yankees must be astronomical. The report mentions that Detroit would have to give up names like Bryce Rayner or Thyron Lorenzo, and perhaps even main roster players like Zach McKinstry. This shows that teams are willing to bleed their farm systems to win now. If the Tigers, who are in a rising phase similar to some moments of our recent trajectory, are willing to open the vault of prospects, this puts the Brewers in a position of power. If we decide to sell, it is a seller's market. If we decide to buy, we know it will hurt the wallet. This aggression from Detroit puts pressure on the Central Division. We cannot stay stagnant while teams around us, or geographically close, make impact moves. The potential Marte trade shows that the wait-and-see window is closed. The winter meetings are the time to act. If the trade with the Yankees materializes, it cannot be viewed in a vacuum. It must be the prelude to an immediate reinvestment of those resources. We don't want to be the team that just supplies parts to big markets. We want to be the team making the smart trade that leads us to the World Series. Marte's projection for 2026 is solid, 26 home runs, .276 average, but the cost is the future of the franchise that buys him. The Brewers, historically, avoid mortgaging the future in this way. We prefer to be the team receiving the 3-player package than the team sending it. Therefore, watching the Tigers go all in on Marte, I feel a mix of caution and opportunity. If the market is this hot, perhaps it is the exact time to capitalize on our most valuable assets, bring in a Will Warren and maybe someone else in the package, and trust that our player development will keep us atop the Central Division, as we always do. In short, the headline news for us isn't just the Tigers' interest in Ketel Marte, but how this inflated market validates the Brewers' strategy of potentially trading an all-star pitcher to the Yankees for a young, controllable return like Will Warren. The market is paying a premium for certainty, and Milwaukee has spare parts to sell high. Now, I want to hear from you, Brew Crew. Would you trade one of our proven all-star pitchers for Will Warren and the promise of the future, or do you prefer to keep the team as is and try a title run now, even with the risk of losing trade value later? Does the aggressive stance of teams like the Tigers worry you, or do you trust our front office's process? Leave your opinion in the comments below. I want to create a serious and passionate debate. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your fellow Brewers friends. We will be keeping an eye on every move of these winter meetings. Until next time.